Hi, I'm Jackie Stevenson, Global CEO of creative agency The Brooklyn Brothers, board advisor and director to 2 charities and 2 startups, and a ballroom dancer. And these are my biggest lessons. Don't accept the status quo. One of the things that has really benefited me in my career is never accepting the status quo. If you see something that needs changing, go about and try to change it. Now, one response is to do a startup, which is what I did with my partners 10 years ago. But that doesn't mean to say if you don't want to do a startup that you can't start changing things within bigger and larger organisations. At the Brooklyn Brothers, we're now bigger than we ever expected to be, and we're now part of a bigger agency group, an organisation, IPG. And we're always on the lookout for ways that we can improve things and make things better. One great example is helping brands market better to women. We are amazed at how many brands are not engaging directly with women and speaking to them in a language that they understand about things that are really challenging in their lives. And it's why brilliant startups like Heist and Thinks and Starling are just growing exponentially. So we're really building up a team of female-first creatives, strategists and account people to really help brands market brilliantly to women. We've got a great black book of creative and production businesses that we can work with who are led by women. And we're also changing the way we research and talk and listen to women. It's one of the big things that we're doing to not accept the status quo. Find something in your life that brings you real joy and invest in it outside work. This is something that I've really learned later on in my career, that to be successful in what you do in work, you also have to have something outside work that is stimulating for you. The brain needs constant stimulation. It needs to be stretched in different ways and stimulated to think differently. And if you're in the same old rut, doing the same thing every day, you're never going to be able to bring that extra level of creativity to it, something so important in the creative business. The thing that I really invest in is dancing, and I started to ballroom dance competitively about 6 years ago. Ballroom dancing is something that really stretches my brain. You have to think in 3D. You have to think creatively with choreography. You have to think how about you're going to be able to work with your partner and what you're going to be able to do in competitions. It's something that couldn't be further from the advertising business that I'm in now, but it's something that helps my business enormously because I come back refreshed, I come back stimulated, and I come back full of thinking and joy in different ways that I can bring to my business. Learning to accept failure is a really important part of your career journey. Failure is something that is going to happen to all of us throughout our careers. And we can either learn to accept it or we can fight it. And certainly something that I've done through my career is really learn to accept it and use it. Sometimes your decisions are brilliant. The things that you put in place are great. But things happen that is going to make something fail. And how you choose to respond to that is the thing that you can control. This is something that I've learned so much through the process of dancing and trying to get better. Dancing is something that you do consistently. It's something that you practice consistently. And when you're trying to learn something new, your body has to take time to adapt. You've got to continually practice. And you're going to fail and you're going to feel bad and you're going to look at everyone and go, why are they doing this? And why can't I do it? What you have to do is keep thinking about how you can use that failure to get you to the next step and how you're going to use that to help you succeed. In business, it's exactly the same. We can't expect to do something brilliantly if we haven't practiced it. And the thoughts that we have in our head and the things that our heads are saying to us don't define us. We can control our thoughts. We can turn those thoughts to how we're going to use those failures to really power us on to the next success. Find a great partner in business and work on being a great partner yourself. Partnership in business is something that's so little talked about, but it's so important. And it's a big lesson I've learned from my ballroom dancing. When you've got a great dancing partnership, you can see it. If you listen to your partner and move in the right direction and your partner responds to you, you can see that on the floor immediately. And if you're out of sync, it shows. It's a little bit more subtle in business, but no less important. My business partner and I, George, have worked together for over 10 years now in our business, and we've really focused on building our partnership, which I'm happy to say is probably stronger now than it's ever been. There are 3 things we really focus on to keep building that partnership. The first is know your role and stick to it, and respect your partner's role. We spent time thinking about where our strengths were, and he makes it up and I make it happen. And that's something that we do together to really grow our business. The second is make sure you make time to meet over the good as well as the issues. It's so easy in business to think about the things that are going wrong and the things you need to solve. But in partnership, it's so important to celebrate the good and celebrate the things that are going right. And the third thing that we do is always make sure that we take time out of the daily business to think about our business and where we want to go in the future. He takes a Friday, I take a Wednesday, and together we make sure that we think about where our business is going outside of the day-to-day. Share your vulnerability and bring your whole self to work. Now that's something that's so easy to say, but what does that really mean? Share your vulnerability and bring your whole self to work. I think one of the examples that I can give you is something that's very personal to me, which is my marriage breakup and divorce. I got divorced 6 years ago, and it was something that I didn't talk to anyone in the business about, and I carried myself. And it's something that actually, when I began to really understand why it had happened, and I could share my real feelings, suddenly the empathy that I had for other people in the business and the way that I reacted to other people in the business really changed. To be able to talk about a period in your life when you feel completely vulnerable, when you feel like you're not in control, and you feel like things aren't going well around you, with true vulnerability, to talk about something personal is something I found in my business career to be hugely important. We all go through moments in our lives that are going to impact on business. And I think one of the things that we talk about in business, the work-life balance, is one of the craziest things. Nobody can have a work-life balance. It's always about a work-life blend. Sometimes work's going to come in more, sometimes life's going to come in more. And showing that vulnerability when your life isn't going in quite the way you want it to is something that can really help you in business and also in life.